Carmelo Anthony reveals the truth about Linsanity. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest. It's been a minute. It's been a while, but your boy's back. I took some time off just to process everything, process the loss, process the end of the season, process the fact that we were able to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 1999, 2000. But of course, we got hit with the injury bug. But that happens in the NBA. That happens in the NBA, and we got to move forward to next season. But having said all that, today's video, I want to talk to you about Carmelo Anthony, who in my opinion has already been overtaken by Jalen Brunson as far as popularity, as far as likes. And I know my man Chris is not going to like that, but it's the truth. But on Melo's podcast with Melo or DeZeus, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, they had Baron Davis as a guest, and they had a small segment talking about Linsanity. Melo and Baron Davis reveal how they felt about their time on the Knicks during Linsanity and how it could have been an even bigger phenomenon than it already was. Now, in the clip, Melo says that he talked to Jeremy Lin, and he said that Linsanity could itself be a $100 million business. But Jeremy Lin at the time, he really didn't want to focus on that. He just wanted to focus on basketball. And in the clip, Melo said that Jeremy Lin said that he didn't want to bring any attention to himself and his family. And then Melo and Baron Davis, they said that they really respected it. But they both said that Lin just was not having it. Melo went down with an injury. Amari went down with an injury. And Jeremy Lin, who was sleeping on Landry Field's couch, he was thrown into the mix by Mike D'Antoni, and next thing you know, he's having 40-point burger balls. Next thing you know, he's hitting game winners in Toronto, and he just came out of nowhere, man. And during that time, that was such an amazing time for the Knicks team, for the Knicks organization, for the Knicks fans. Melo and Amari, they were there, so we had some hope. But with Linsanity, like, I don't know, man, it just took over the NBA, and then, mind you, we Knicks fans, we definitely got caught up in it because he was giving 40-point burgers to like Deron Williams when Deron Williams was with the New Jersey Nets, I believe. Yeah, it wasn't Brooklyn yet. It was the New Jersey Nets still. So Deron Williams was still balling. And Jeremy Lin was also giving 40-point burgers to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, my guy. But he was also busting Kobe Bryant, the Lakers' ass when Kobe had Powell, when Kobe had Andrew Bynum. Kobe had, I believe, Matt Barnes was on that team. Like, Jeremy Lin went up against some stiff competition. He really showed up. So much respect to Jeremy Lin. But if I'm also being honest, like, Knicks fans, we were definitely caught up in the whole Linsanity rage. But some Knicks fans, we were kind of like, okay, this is cool, but this guy can't be our guy moving forward. And I'm not even talking about Melo and Amari and like the number one option. Like, everybody knew Jeremy Lin was not a number one option, but when you were caught up in the Linsanity rage, we were just like projecting and we were just hoping that, oh my God, maybe we found our third guy to go alongside Melo and Amari. And then when Linsanity ran out, then we all know what happened. He left and he went to Houston. He got the bag. I believe they paid him $48 million for, I'm not sure exactly how many years. I could be wrong on that. But Linsanity started in New York, and it's always going to be a special time in Knicks fans' heart. And also during that time, there were rumors circulating that Melo kind of didn't like the attention that Jeremy Lin was getting. And obviously, I wasn't in the locker room, so I don't know. But I don't know, man. I kind of believed it. Melo was out. I think he hurt his knee, and he was out for maybe about a month or maybe a little more than that or a little less than that. Linsanity was so long ago that I can't really remember. But the rumors circulating saying that Melo was jealous of Jeremy Lin, like, I kind of believe it, man. If you take a look back at Melo's career, like, he was always the number one option. Even that time when he got traded to Oklahoma City, and during the press conference, I think someone asked him if he would be okay coming off the bench, and his reaction was straight up laughter. Like, I'm not a bench player. He didn't even like open up his mind to the idea of trying to sacrifice and trying to be this player to come off the bench. A Carmelo Anthony, who at that time was still not like on the downside of his career. He was still a really, really probably top 20 player in the league. and he just scoffed at that notion. Like he didn't even like try and open his mind to be like, maybe I should try and think about this, and because where my career is headed, I know I don't have a lot of seasons left. But no, Melo always wanted it to be all about himself. And with the Knicks, I know that like the Phil Jackson era didn't really do anything good for us. And Melo's tenure with the Knicks, man, is so, it's not controversial. It's just like confusing. It's frustrating. Because before Phil Jackson got there, we had one good season. Just one good season. One good season where it was JR, Melo, Amari, Jason Kidd, Raymond Felton, Chris Copeland, Kenyon Martin joined the team, Kurt Thomas, Iman Shumpert. Like, it was a nice blend of young athleticism, but also with older vets. And we went to the second round and we lost in 6 to Indiana. And then after that, Phil Jackson came in, blew the team up. We got rid of J.R. Smith and sent Iman Shumpert to the Cleveland Cavaliers. For what? I don't know why. And Melo was left with Alexei Shved. And that's something that's always been difficult with me as far as like, how much blame do I put on Melo? Because before Phil Jackson got there and Melo joining Amari, like, I get it. The team still wasn't structured enough to compete with basically Miami, because that was when the Heatles was together. But at the same time, it's like, and I know that Amari was also just injury plagued basically after like the first year with the Knicks. That's something else you also got to take into account with Melo's tenure with the Knicks. Like, he was playing with an all-star that was never really around because he was dealing with injuries left and right. And then on top of that, the roster build, like, but Melo being the star player for the Knicks, Melo being the number one guy, I would have loved to see Melo try and adjust his game. We all know you can score, man. In my opinion, Melo is probably top 5 offensive players of all time. And if I really break it down, he might be even top 3. Mid-range, post-up, the jab step, the footwork, the three-pointer, the isolation. Like, Melo had everything in his game, and he was a straight-up bully. But the one aspect of his game that I wish I just saw was him just galvanizing his teammates, him making his teammates better. And I know that not everybody is like that. Every player has an individual skill. Every player has an individual talent. And Melo's was strictly scoring. It was just strictly scoring. And that's what we needed him to do night in and night out, which he did provide for us. But me personally, I always believe that if I was running a team and my best player could only score and nothing else, I don't know how far I'm going to be able to go. If I was running a team and I know the best player on my team could only score, a la Allen Iverson when he brought the Philadelphia 76ers to the championship in 2001, with the loss to the Lakers in 5, a la Carmelo Anthony, what we're talking about right now, I am going to put the supporting pieces around him, but I'm still going to be looking at the best player on my team, and I'm going to be asking him for more. I'm going to be going up to him and telling him, like, yo, I know you can do this, and I know you can do it really well, but I also want to see something else from your game. I want to see you work on your assisting. I want to see you working on getting your teammates in better positions. Because Carmelo Anthony, he was the number one focal point with the Knicks the entire time he was with the Knicks. So couldn't he have used that to his advantage? And I just never really heard of stories. I never really seen Melo kind of like give up that or relinquish it as easily as some other players. Now, maybe the media just didn't really highlight it. Maybe Melo was in the locker room talking to his teammates and willing to sacrifice, and maybe he just wasn't covered. But I can only go off of what I've seen. I can only go off of what was in the media, what was in the newspapers and the YouTube clips and all that stuff at the time. And from what I saw a basketball player who was one-dimensional, a basketball player who only knew how to do it one way. And ever since he came into the league, I never really saw Melo add anything to his game. Like, offensively, we all know he could put the ball in the bucket. But did he ever make an All-NBA defensive team? No. Did he ever lead his team in assists? Absolutely not. So, I don't know. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, the Melo tenure with the Knicks is just a complicated, frustrating, controversial, if you will, tenure with any team. But going back to the Linsanity remarks from Baron Davis and Carmelo Anthony, it was just a nice little video of a reminder and just to reflect and just think of that time when it was like a 2 weeks period where Linsanity was just ruling over New York. And I was still in New York at the time, and it was recently after college. So it was just a great time for Knicks fans. But then we were brought back to reality real quick. But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you for checking it out. Leave it in the comments. Let me know some of your thoughts about Melo's remarks and Baron Davis' remarks regarding Linsanity. And also leave it in the comments and let me just know some of your memories regarding Linsanity. Were you there at the first game at the Garden when he really exploded? Were you buying all the Linsanity shirts when they were heat pressing the shirts at the Garden when Linsanity was going crazy? But until next time, you know the drill. You know the vibes. Taj Gibson for president. Jalen Brunson for MVP. Deuce is loose for co-MVP. And I hope you guys are relaxing in Cancun somewhere. And I applaud you for the season that you gave us. And I will be coming out with a video talking about the season, the ups and downs. But I'll check you out in the next video. Peace.